you know, I'm sure everyone who works here knows, but there was an unfortunate, first thing I think we should cover is what is a director? What is a director? It's a hard thing to, most people don't know what a director is. It's sort of this mysterious, oh, the director. And someone is appointed the director, and then, you know, I mean, it's the kind of thing where if you get the people in the right place at the right time saying the right lines, they're a director. Unfortunately, that is not how the great moments of drama have happened. So I hope as we go through this, I'll be able to give you some inkling of how the great moments have been done. And God knows it's a little bit like telling you how to fly a jet. It's not. But I think it will give you some sense of insight into when I've seen great moments in theater. It's a little self-serving to say that one of the things that I did was, but I think it's valid because of the actors that I happen to have. I was lucky to have some wonderful actors in Los Angeles, oddly enough, when we did After the Fall by Arthur Miller. And Rebecca De Mornay was Maggie, the Marilyn character. Mark Rydell was the Quentin character, the Arthur Miller stand-in, and people like Barry Primus, Sally Kirkland, Stefan Girosh, Lyle Kessler, who's a playwright, wrote Orphans, but he's also started as an actor, as many people did. It was a performance on book. We'll get into that more later. But at the end of that performance, it felt like those actors had such a deep emotional commitment that they had really given of themselves to such a degree that they had left a little piece of themselves behind on the stage. I don't say that lightly. And unfortunately, I don't see enough of that these days. So, you know, of course we had Williams writing and Miller writing, and not so much later, Norman Mailer writing. I'm quite a fan of his. I've done a lot of work with him. So, all right, I'm going to refer to some of these notes. The first thing I would say a director has is leadership. Now, how am I going to tell you how to develop leadership in yourself? It's hard. I would say the first thing is you have to take responsibility. You know, you say, okay, I'm going to direct this, so that means it's in your lap. I once had a stage manager that was very effective, but I noticed as we started rehearsing, she was starting to pop off at different actors. And finally I said, look, there's no room for tantrums unless they're in a scene on the stage in a performance. And because when you're directing, the buck stops with you. You can't blame the actors, you can't blame the script, you can't blame the lights. It's you know, literally like the executive office. The buck stops with you. So you have to solve the problems that come up. That's part of it. There's just nowhere else. There's no one else really standing in the wings to solve your problems. That's the name of the game. That's the job you took. So you have to really think on your feet sometimes. You have to come up with solutions to thorny problems. You know, you cancel a seminar, you move ahead with it. And I have a lot of, notes. So forgive me. If we're doing this, I wouldn't be referring to notes, but as a sort of a seminar, it helps to refer to. The other thing a director has that's really crucial is what they call his eye. His eye. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you see a scene and you think it's truthful, what your version of truth is what is called your eye. So, how do you develop a sense of what's truth in behavior of characters of the human condition, right? Characters in a play on stage? Well, life experience, investigations into psychology. I'm a big believer in therapy, getting in touch with your feelings rather than being run by them. Anyway, there are many different ways, but the point is, that's really critical, and you can't, it doesn't come overnight. It comes over many, many years of experience, both in theater, in life, and we'll get to more of how that happens later. But also a sense of taste. What works in a scene. For example, stage readings have become, I think because of economic pressures, have become more current and more popular simply because they don't cost that much money to get up. But what works in a stage reading? Well, not a lot of stage directions being read, oddly enough. And it seems these days that every time I see a stage reading, in a sort of a form of condescension to the audience, like they might not understand that someone's on the phone saying hello. Instead you have someone off the side saying, the phone rings. You know? And it takes the audience right out of the emotional truth of the moment. And so I find that to be such a sacrifice because people, you know, everybody wants to suspend disbelief. We want to be sitting around the campfire with the shaman telling the story. We want to believe. We want to leap. We want to let our imagination leap into the cosmos. So instead of having that happen, allowing that to happen, we have someone reminding us constantly that this is just actors reading from a script on a stage, you know, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, that's one of my pet peeves that I see more and more. So somewhere, someone is telling people that they should read every stage direction, and not only that, sometimes the actor is actually doing what the stage directions are being read that they're saying. So it becomes completely redundant. I don't get that at all, but that's done a lot. So I feel it's, I would like to put this out because, believe me, if there's an emotional truth that's happening in the moment, the audience wants to stay with that, wants to experience that, wants to let that resonate with them. They don't need to be pulled out of the moment. And especially in stage readings, there's so little that the actors have going for them that why remind them and why pull them out of the beauty of letting them experience the truthfulness of the moment. So, okay, the other thing that a director does is somehow ignite his cast. Ignite with a passion for the material, for the work that you're going to do. That is not like, you know, hurrah, come on in, sit down, let's talk, chit-chat. You know, it's serious work. You are rearranging your psychic molecules. You are trying to become someone else for the actors. So this is serious work. So, you know, that's, I would say that Orson Welles, Harold Corman, certainly Kazan, even Arthur Miller would read his whole script to the cast himself and try to kind of create the world that those actors were going to inhabit. Clerman was especially famous for having this incredible rev-up of an introductory speech about, you know, the class structure of the play, the proletariat was going to do this. You know, Clerman was coming up in the 30s with the group theater, where the Depression was on, so politics figured greatly into what they were doing. And he was famous for really inspiring people, his actors. The joke was that then Kazan would come on and take her role in particulars because he was lousy at blocking and really the nuts and bolts of getting the production really coming together. So